Hey guys, Come4MC here again. I know I said it'd be a while till our next tutorial, but unfortunately my trip to Europe got postponed, it's delayed. So I have some downtime and here I am with yet another tutorial. I think this is number 24, so we're on tutorial number 24, and today we're going to be talking about ledge climbing. If you guys played my latest level, it's based on Limbo, and one of the mechanics that I put in there is ledge climbing. And I just wanted to show you real quick how that works. This is a little different from what I did in that level, but this one will work a little better if we have ledges kind of like this one, where they don't have space underneath them. The ones that I used in my level would have broken down if I were to do something like that. So I'm going to show you a slightly different one that's a little more extendable to things like this. So the first thing we want to do is make sure we start with a bot that we are controlling. I have a controlinator here, and its receiver is here, so we have transmitter and receiver pairing. I'm not making it follow it around so you guys can see the bot more clearly while I'm doing this video. And then I guess, yeah, I want to make sure I have a tag on here. I just made a green one called bot, and then I've set up a microchip which I'm eventually going to put some stuff on. So the first thing we're going to want to do to set up our ledge climbing mechanic is to make sure that we have something to grab onto on our ledge, and also something to indicate what type of ledge it is. Are we climbing to the right? Are we climbing to the left? And the way that I'm going to set that up in this is to use a piece of hologram material that I'm just going to place on the corner and then put a couple things on, and that will allow me to set up the communication to the bot which way he's supposed to climb, because the way we're going to make him climb is through an animation. So the first thing I'm going to do is place down a piece of hologram material, and I'm just going to make it blue for now, and I'm going to put a microchip right on that. And I shrink it down just so I can see my material and grab it if I need to. And then on this chip it's going to be pretty simple what we're going to do. Basically we're going to put a tag sensor and flip it upside down. And so this is going to detect, when I've changed this radius to 180, if that bot is underneath the ledge or below the ledge. And you can make that radius about 20, that's fine. And we want to make sure that that's matching our tag label of bot. So what this is going to do is when the bot is underneath or just below the ledge here, we're going to make it activate a material tweaker that allows this this hologram to be grabbed. Now the reason I don't make that radius 360 is I don't want the bot being able to grab the ledge when he's above it. That wouldn't really make sense. And so we're just going to make this grabbable when he is below. And then I'm going to set up one other simple thing on here, and it's just a grab switch. And I'm going to make sure that, and then I'm going to wire this to a tag. And I'm just going to, for now, let's see, I'll call it ledge. And then I'll make this one blue to match that hologram color that we chose. So we've got a blue tag on there. And this is going to be our ledge for this side. And now what I want to do is make sure that it's a little bit above the bottom of this ledge here, and sticking out a little bit atop and a little bit to the left. And then I'm just going to make a copy of that and do the same thing over here on this ledge. Now the reason that I have it stick out a little bit is so that the bot actually has something to grab onto. And the reason I make it stick out above the bottom here is so that he can't grab it when he's directly underneath it. We want him to just grab it like if it were a real ledge. And then just change this one's color to orange and make the hologram the same thing, just so you know which one it is at a glance. Okay, so those are our two ledges. What's basically going to happen is when this bot gets in range of this tag sensor, it's going to activate the ability to be grabbed. And that's all we're wanting to do, and the same thing's going on with that one. Now we want to make sure that we take these pieces of hologram and actually glue them down. It's not enough to just put an anti-gravity tweaker on there, because material strengths and whatever are tied to the mass of the object, and the hologram doesn't have any mass. So if you just used an anti-grav tweaker, your bot's arms would go crazy, they'd stretch all out, and it just wouldn't work. So just make sure you're gluing it to whatever corner it's on, or you could glue it to a piece of white matter or something. Okay, so we've set up our two ledges. Right now they just have the ability to be grabbed, but that's just about it. They can't do anything else. Oops, I got a bunch of other things going on. You see them bouncing around. I think it's because these sequencers that I have set up are getting triggered by my bot. So what we're going to do is make it so when we grab, say, this right ledge here, it's gonna start an animation where he climbs up that right ledge. Okay, so we're going to use a tag sensor. So when this bot picks up a blue ledge signal, it's going to allow me to trigger that animation. And I'll just make it about 20. And then I'll just put that there, and then we'll use the same thing for orange ledge, and so that's going to be this ledge over here. Now what I'm going to set up so that we have a little more control over this animation is to just make it so when you grab the ledge, hitting X is what causes him to climb up. So that's just going to be a simple AND condition here. And so the first condition for each of them is going to be the ledge is grabbed. Notice that when you grab, it's going to turn on this tag. So when the ledge is grabbed, that's going to be the first condition for starting the sequencer. And I'll show you what's on these sequencers in a minute. But the other condition is going to be we have grabbed with the X button. That's just going to go to our second condition on our AND gate there. And so now what's going to happen is if I go to this right ledge here and I grab on, that's going to light up the first AND condition. As soon as I hit X, it's going to light up the second, which will allow my sequencer to start playing forward. And if I open this up, we'll see what we've got going on here. So you'll notice that I've got some batteries and I've got some movers. And when I just place these on the sequencer, they're going to light up when that stripe goes across, kind of like that. You'll see my bot kind of moved a little bit because it ran over those movers. Okay, so the first mover that I have here is right down the middle. I have this, I guess I should probably clarify. Each of these sequencers are set to 0.3 seconds per stripe. So that just means it'll take 0.3 seconds to go here, 0.6 seconds to go here, or 0.9 seconds to go the whole length. That's just the time that I got to work for me. You can tweak and play around with this to get it how you like. But I put a mover which moves directly up at a speed of 3. And my acceleration and deceleration are at 100%. So that's going to, as much as it can, it's going to push that bot straight up. And then once it goes straight up, it's going to push it to the right too. And that's going to be at 100% acceleration, no deceleration. So what that's going to mean is when the bot is told to go up, it's going to move him straight up and then out, which is about how you'd expect for a ledge climb to go. But you'll notice that I had some other extra stuff going on here, and just what this is for is when this bot grabs this ledge, it could turn out where he's underneath it, and you can imagine that if he tries to go straight up, it's just going to whack his head and he's going to get stuck and not go up. So what I've done, and what I will do, is tell that bot basically to swing out away from the ledge right before it does its animation. And so I'm just going to use a direction combiner and wire this into the left stick of my controlinator. So when I wire into the top of these, the direction combiner, it's going to tell the bot to swing to the right, or basically push the left to the stick to the right. And so that's going to make it so if he's hanging from the ledge, it'll make him swing this way. We don't want that when he's on this ledge, so when he's on this ledge, I'm going to use a battery here, 100%, and that's going to go from 0 to the middle of my sequencer here, and that's going to make him swing to the left. Notice the negative is left, and then when I'm on the other side, when I'm on the orange ledge, it's going to make him swing to the right. So you can imagine that when he's grabbing on here, if he's under the ledge, when I start that sequence, it's going to swing him out to the right, and then a mover is going to push him up, and then a mover is going to push him back out to the right. And that's basically our animation in a nutshell. Now the other battery that I've put on here, this is so that I can control when the controlinator is disabled. You can imagine that if somebody is trying to swing this bot up and they're pushing the left stick the other direction than what you want, it's going to screw up the animation a bit. So what I'm going to do is just for each of these sequenced animations, I put a battery through an AND gate, and this AND gate is going to wire to the controlinator's eject. Basically what that's going to do is it's going to ignore any player inputs. And so while this battery is lit up, the player input is ignored, and the only thing that it's going to control it is the inputs that are going directly to my controlinator or my movers. Okay, so that kind of was a lot all at once, but let's see if we can watch what's going on when I grab a ledge here. Hopefully I don't... No, I want to grab the sequencer. Okay. Let me just make this camera a little wider. Okay, so here's my bot. When I get within range of the blue grab switch, that tag on here is going to light up. Or not the tag, the tag sensor, and it's going to allow me to grab it. When I do, it lights up that blue tag, which means that the first condition for my AND gate is met here. And as soon as I press X, it's going to start that blue animation. Ooh, what is going on there? I forgot something. This is why we practice. Okay, so you'll notice that when I disabled controls, he was no longer grabbing. He dropped down, and he was no longer grabbing onto that ledge. Well, let's just make it so for as long as the controls are disabled, which is this OR gate here. As long as the controls are disabled, we just make the bot automatically grab. Okay, so now when we grab on here, when I press the X button, he's still going to stay grabbed, and there's his swing animation up onto the ledge. And then we can try it out on the other side. And there he's up onto the ledge. So really we're just using movers and sequencers to create an animation for the bot. And during this animation we just disable player controls so they can't screw it up themselves. And it's a pretty robust climb mechanic. You can try to swing and screw it up, but because we've disabled their controls and made him swing out to the side, he's able to climb up onto that ledge. Okay, so that's the basics of making a ledge climbing mechanic. It's pretty simple. There's a lot of wires going on, but I hope the idea is pretty straightforward, and I hope you see that there's some interesting things you could do with ledge climbing or other animations of this sort. Okay, when I come back for our next video, I think I'll do another one. I'm going to show you guys how we can do ladder climbing. So here's ledge climbing, we're going to do ladder climbing. These are all kind of staples of platforming games, so it's kind of cool to be able to bring them to Little Big Planet, use them in your own levels. Alright, so hopefully this isn't my last one. I'm really hoping that I get to go to Europe soon, but take care guys, I'll see you next time.
The tutorials will unleash not only exciting tools and objects, but knowledge and the deepest secrets of the cosmos.